Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Cold Steel 4 and we're touring West Erebonia. So let's see where it goes from here. I'm hoping we can explore the entire Courageous too, that would be amazing. Proper storage for all our units. Oh, proper stores. Lots of room. Love it. Means also room for more people to be here that we can talk to, but I'll take that. And a big bridge to top it all off.
Despite being a new model of ship, the system you see here largely emulates that of the previous Courageous. Our operations manual only covers the bare minimum. Should you find anything lacking, you'll have to figure it out as you go.
Understood. I'll make sure to pass it on to everyone else.
In total, it spans a length of 92 Arj, a considerable step up from the previous 74 Arj class. However, because the ship is so much bigger, you'll need to carefully watch the speed and engine output.
Ha! So she's a wild one, eh? Sounds to me like this girl's gonna need a bit more taming than the last one.
And you'll be the right person to do so.
This terminal should give you complete command over all the ship's facilities and fire control systems.
Baton.
It comes equipped with anti-hacking measures, specially developed by Professors Albert and Erica Russell themselves.
You mean Mom and Grandpa made it? We should have no problems then.
Incredible. Every inch of equipment on this ship is state-of-the-art.
And that computer's one of the Epstein Foundation's next-generation models. Weren't they only just developed?
That's right. And its hull has the latest innovations in hydrodynamic engineering, courtesy of the Ruhr Institute of Technology. Plus, it seems to be outfitted with ZCF's newest next-gen orbital engine, too.
It only gets more and more unbelievable every time I hear it. Just how did you manage to construct a cutting-edge ship like this abroad in total secrecy, without anyone finding out?
It's hard, but for Olivert, not impossible.
As I stated earlier, there are a great deal of individuals who helped me make this happen. Such as Mr. Gwyn here, for instance.
Former RF Group Chairman Gwyn Reinford.
Mm-hmm. The story here goes all the way back to right after the Civil War. Considering the way it ended, His Highness decided to approach me for some advice. He had me prepare this ship for him, all in anticipation of the day when the Crimson Wings would be torn from the sky.
So that's why.
Huh. I do remember His Highness mentioning something about you being his advisor.
Shit, but the construction site to be located on the Kingdom of Liberals Valeria Lakeshore? And to top off, an old Ouroboros secret base to boot? Talk about a plot twist. You're referring to the research facility that the Faceless constructed during the incident in Liberal. I heard that after the dust settled, it was handed over to the ZCF to manage. Oh, it does seem like Grandpa and the others used it for some kind of research. So not just Gwyn and Professor Smith pitched in, but Professor Russell and Her Majesty Alicia too. Whereas Cassius and the Crown Princess were none the wiser. If you wanna fool your enemies, you gotta fool your friends first, huh? Classic. As for funding, in addition to His Highness Olivert, Gwyn and His Majesty Eugent also contributed from their personal holdings. But perhaps most unexpected benefactors were Father and Marcus Rogner. Indeed, quite a cunning play by those two. I imagine that keeping this from the Albereas was all in the name of avoiding the eye of the Intelligence Division. Yes, the same with the Cayennes, I'm sure. And so, your new set of wings were completed, independently of both the government and the Wiseland army. When I said we were preparing for our original wings to be torn away, I only expected they'd be commandeered by the government. To be perfectly frank, the thought that they would be physically torn never even crossed my mind. Oh, this isn't a laughing matter for the record. Indeed, just being alive is reason enough to give thanks to Ideals, even at the cost of a left eye. Your Highness, I hate to ask, but what's the prognosis? A full recovery doesn't seem to be in the cards, unfortunately. But as a musician, I am just grateful that my hands and ears made it through in one piece. I suppose I have them to thank for that, huh? Ah, so you owe your life to George's inner turmoil and the whims of that phantom thief, huh? Well, you have an unbreakable spirit, Your Highness. Don't sell yourself short. Oh, actually seeing it.
This is...
I underestimated them. Shara, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ein. Looks like I messed up.
Goddess, please protect my daughter.
You have 15 seconds until the hull collapses. So before then, I will offer you one final wager. A gravitational barrier will appear on the bridge for exactly 24 seconds. Let's see if you can come back from this.
Ah! Adios, help us! You gotta stay calm.
Get down and brace for impact!
Over there! Damn! The gravitational barrier! It's not gonna hold.
Don't give up just yet!
Oh, he gave up his arm to protect them. Oh, that's such a him thing to do. Very honorable. Despite the position he is in right now.
Was I a moment too late? Nay, surely a flicker of hope yet remains. Can you still be plucked from the jaws of Gehenna? Show me just how far that luck of yours will take you, my dearest rival.
I love the fact there's a true rivalness between Olivert and Blue Blank. I still can't believe that our friend, the Phantom Thief, saved you all from the wreckage. I guess these parlor tricks are good for something, if that's what he used to spirit everyone away in one piece. No wonder they couldn't find so much as a single body. On top of that, he healed His Highness's, the crew, and even the Viscount's grave wounds, didn't he? That's right. I was injured too, but somehow I made it out relatively unscathed. When the Viscount jumped in to block the hole in the barrier, I couldn't even use my arch to help him. I'd never felt so worthless in my entire life. I'm sorry, Laura. I dropped the ball when it matters most. Like I've told you, Toval, you have nothing to apologize for. I'm just relieved you made it out alive. I'm sure Father shares my sentiment. Well, if you say so. I admit, I thought Viscount Arcide more or less invincible. I was stunned speechless to see him in that state. But for him, losing his left arm means he'll just swing twice as hard when he fights, when he's right. power is just an extension of oneself. And what's a sword if not power wrought in steel? But ultimately, it's not the might of one's blade, but will and strength of spirit that decides the battle. Ah, the words of his lordship from the Infernal Castle 2 years ago. This is so ridiculously cool. Okay, Edgelord. Well, given who we're talking about, I expect he'll only emerge stronger from the experience. Well, if that's the case, this could well become the most difficult trial we've faced yet. I'm inclined to agree. It will be prudent for us to account for every contingency. There's also the promise we made with Lloyd, Estelle and the others. True that. Oh, we can let them best us. But what exactly is Rose up to? Oh, sorry about my grandmother. She has a way of being evasive. Oh, I definitely have been a little surprised by how sudden that all was. Well, if it involves the rivalries though, the only thing to do is to go and check it out, right? The previous evening, after Rean and the others had boarded the Courageous II and been shown around, they began discussing the next step they should take, considering that the war will begin in less than a week. In the middle of their conversation, however, they received a call from a rather unexpected party.
For those of you who have not yet had the honor, my name is Roselia Milstein. I am the elder of Erebonia's Hexen clan. Emma and Vita are my disciples in the magical arts. It is a pleasure to finally meet you, Prince Olivert, as well as the storied children of Crossbell and the Burl.
Ah, how do you do? Until this moment I only heard of you through rumor and legend. I heard that you watched over the laying of Erebonia's foundation by Arnor I. Is that really true? Well, actually that was my predecessor. It was Emperor Hector and Prince Drykos who I was best acquainted with 800 years ago. I cannot say the family resemblance is all that strong in you, but you definitely have a familiar fire in your heart. It is quite an honor to hear you say so. Oh, I've heard about Roselia from Rean. 800 years old. Even seeing it with my own eyes, I can't quite believe it. Oh, I've heard a few things about those of you back there as well. Glowing tales of Ragnard and Zeit both. Wait, what? Ragnard? For real? We haven't seen Zeit since. Oh, we spoke shortly before they vanished. Even I have no idea of their whereabouts now, however. That's a shame. Well, from the sound of it, Cassius doesn't know either. Well, Ragnard, the ancient dragon, and Zeit, the divine wolf. Two of the beasts entrusted with overseeing the Septarians.
Indeed. Being sent forth by Adios, much like the holy beast of Earth. Thomas Lysander, second dominion of the Gralsritter. Estelle, Lloyd, I've heard many a rumor about your respective endeavors. As for you, Your Highness, I don't think we've had the chance to talk since you were last at the main campus.
Oh, and to think that you, a history teacher, are a dominion of the Gralsritter. I must say, I was quite frustrated that I was unable to see what was really going on, despite my ties to Kevin. Oh, I see. So I guess that means you heard about us from Kevin and Reese. Well, and it sounds like you learned about us from Wazzy, right? Right, we having all of them operate outside of Erebonia at the present. They're out there resisting Ouroboros and their allies working towards the Great Twilight in secret. The 1st, 4th, 5th and 6th Anguis. Well, it seems that the enforcers who haven't come to Erebonia are all out on operations. Well, it looks like the Intelligence Division's been active in other countries too. They're making some pretty serious moves. The Red Constellation's main regiment and the War of God too. Ah, so Uncle Sigmund is finally on the move. Yes, Arios and Rixia are responding to their actions. It's the same with Null, Chief Sergei and Dudley, isn't it? Well, I hope they're all okay. To be honest, things are looking fairly grim. So much so that the Papal Guard has begun to act on its own and is cooperating with Operation Mil Mirage. I expected as much. Now is truly not the time for them to be going off on their own like this. Well, even during the Night Touched affair 200 years ago, the Papal Guard managed to make a nuisance of themselves. For the time being though, let us focus on the main issue at hand, the rivalry of the Seven. I have been closely monitoring the disturbance in the Spirit Veins, and there has been surprising development. As soon as the commencement date for Operation Jormungandr and Mil Mirage was announced, activity in the Spirit Veins reached a fevered peak. Though the reason why is still unclear, it seems the announcement itself is connected to the spread of the disturbance. What? What? You mean the Spirit Veins reacted to today's events? The boss moving out might be related too. Yes, as well as my father, the Steel Maiden, and the others. Well, I think that during the event from the last episode, they did basically accept the challenge of the rivalries. They just need to be at the right location to have those fights. And I think that acceptance of the rivalries to come, that's what triggered the responses, I'm sure. Oh, this probably involves Mother and Sharon too. And Mariabelle. She seems to be working with RF somehow. There are likely many causes, but we have a different grave situation on our hands. Meanwhile, Spirit Veins across the entire continent have begun activating. It's no longer limited to the Empire. Wait, what the hell? The disturbance was initially a gradual ripple outwards from the Empire, but it seems to be matching the coming war in its scope. Right. That's the Great Twilight at work. They need it in full swing for the rivalries to even be possible. Oh, I imagine even now, they're preparing for the ultimate reformation of the Great One. If only there was something we could do.
The solution is simple. Use this ship to whatever end you see fit. The rivalry of the Seven appears to be the true objective behind this plan of the Chancellor and the Gnomes. That much we can safely assume. And yet, it is this very same objective that may be our sole hope in preventing the disaster to come.
You for real here? It's true that ever since this curse was unleashed, it's felt as though everything's being guided by some unseen force. With that in mind, it'd be near impossible to try and prevent the war altogether.
That's probably why Dad and Chloe opted for Operation Mil Mirage instead. But while we're on it, what exactly is this curse anyway?
We know full well the sort of strife a Septarian can cause. We saw so ourselves during the incident in Liberl a few years back. There, we had to come face to face with the same issues our ancestors contended with 1,200 years ago.
It was the same for us. We fought back against a centuries-long plan to artificially recreate a Septarian. One that had been lost due to mankind's own hubris.
Yeah, I almost made a really big mistake back then. But then Lloyd and the others came and made everything all right again.
In Liberl, a ring that could grant any heart's desire. And in Crossbell, a tree that could rewrite destiny itself. Each one a blessing, yet each one a curse. But in spite of that, Estelle, Lloyd, and everyone else faced them head-on. They didn't lose heart even once.
Therefore, discovering the truth is your responsibility now. It's not something Estelle, or Lloyd, or even the rest of us can accomplish. Only you, Class 7 of Thor's Military Academy.
The Empire's facing threats both on its surface and behind the scenes. You're no strangers to kicking tail on either of those fronts. I can't think of a more tenacious bunch out there. The way I see it, you guys are the only ones who can do this.
It's up to us then.
Well, it's what they've been working towards all this time. From the first Call of Steel all the way to now.
Naturally, the Courageous 2 has its own missions to see to. We must travel around the country helping people and gathering allies. Even so, I have no doubt that we can still serve as your wings of passage. More so with the Merkaba out of commission. After all, the difference in size should be more than enough to fit, say, 2 Divine Knights and 4 Panzer Soldats?
Olivert.
You've put so much thought into this. We appreciate it.
Then Thor's Military Academy's Class 7 would be honored to take you up on that offer, Your Highness. We'll do everything we can to assist you in your efforts as fellow members of the Radiant Wings.
We'll help too. It's only fair after all you've done for the branch campus students.
If you ever need someone to make that ship purr, I'm your gal.
Fabulous! Delighted to have you. You see, we've been rather lacking in the crew department.
Well, I sure as hell ain't sitting this one out. What kind of instructor would I be otherwise?
Count me in too. I mean, we're finally all back together again.
Like we said, we're gonna be off doing our own thing, but we'll still be helping out.
We might meet again one day outside before the rivalries happen. You never know.
Same with us. We'll be catching a ride on the Bobcat too after we're done here.
Now that you mention it, you did both say you'd be working separately.
Yeah. The plan is to cover eastern Erebonia, North Ambria, and Jirai.
You mentioned getting in touch with HQ in Lamont. Guess that means you guys are heading out too, huh, Shara?
We are. Though we won't be leaving the ship until tomorrow.
Sarah, Fee, you guys got things covered here, yeah?
Of course. When have we ever let you down?
Call us if you need anything, okay?
I guess this is goodbye for now then, huh?
Yeah. We've got some stuff to take care of back in Crossbell.
Yeah, maybe gone, but never forgotten.
Don't worry. We'll be seeing each other again before you know it. In the meantime, let's give this our all.
Yeah! We got this, Yuna! Right!
Well, it seems like we'll be able to divide things up by region then. You should be able to just leave everything with the Merkaba Unit 8 up to Rosine Gaius. I'll be arranging for its repairs at a nearby location. Well, I am really in your debt, Thomas. You too, Rosine, thank you. Oh, no worries. Please look after everyone. Oh, it will not be easy, but our shred of hope has come into view. The time has come for me to undergo my final undertaking. Grandmother? What do you mean, final undertaking? Oh, listen well, children of Class 7. As noted, the spirit veins throughout the land are activating, and they are disordered as they've never been before. The same can be said for the shrines, the stages for the rivalries. This includes the Lunar Shrine, the only shrine we witches have overseen since ancient times. The Lunar Shrine. Oh, isn't that close to Milsante? Yes, it's the location of the reflecting pool, and generations after generation of wandering witches have watched over it. This pool reflects a genuine truth and is believed to be connected to the origin of the Black Records. I didn't expect to hear those mentioned here. Yes, I myself was just told about it the other day. I suggest anyone interested in the real truth behind the curse to come. I swear on my true name, I shall provide the answers to your doubt, rest assured. To do so, however, I will require Class 7 to undergo a trial of sorts. You will need to come along as well, Celine. Oh, and fair warning, your uniform will be required for this. Grandmother? Ooh, another trial. Let me guess, we gotta fight Rosine for some reason? Never mind, we fought before, we'll fight again. And as always, we'll win. We thought the Lunar Shrine was a dead end, but there was more to it after all. This will be a trial for the entirety of Class 7. I'm reminded of our adventure in the old schoolhouse 2 years ago. Ah, you mean where everyone first met with Voldemort. Yes, and that crazy go-nuts corridor appears at the end. Rivalry corridor. Knowing what we know now, I think that place is yet another sort of shrine. I don't know what my grandmother's intentions are, but we should prepare ourselves for anything. For crying out loud, why am I'm not even part of Class 7. Oh, just admit it, Celine. You're one of us, whether you like it or not. It'll be the first time we've seen your human form since the Black Workshop, huh? Huh, to gaze upon both Celine's lovely figure and the reflecting pool in the same day. Huh, what fortuitous timing. Once everyone's done their little tour around the Courageous 2, we can head for Lake Gala. It would probably be wise to land out on the water, to put a little distance between ourselves and Monsante. Learning to switch between the silent navigation and optical camouflage modes is going to be critical here. Understood. Things are starting to heat up. Next, our plan is to head ashore, with each group making their approach from targeted locations. Fortunately, Estelle, Lloyd and the others are already a step ahead on us gathering intel. I'm sure we'll have a hit on something useful by the time you get out. We'll be expecting good news, guys. But seriously though, take care of yourselves out there. Right, that goes for you too. Oh, it means so much to know you've got our backs. Class 7, it's time to make sure your preparations are set. We'll need every pair of hands we can get around the ship, so those of you in the position to pitch in, please do so. Oh, absolutely, instructor. Makes sense, even with everyone from the branch campus here. This is a pretty huge ship. Right, it's probably best to make one more round just to be sure. Well, most definitely, and you know us, we like our rounds. Act 3, Seekers of the Dawn. Yes, I wonder if Act 3 is going to be as long as Act 2 or a little bit different. Let's find out. The Courageous 2 is a newly constructed ship, but something about it feels nostalgic. And maybe I'll do one final sweep around the floor myself prior to departure. Oh right, I need to find everyone going ashore and wish them luck again. Each floor has an elevator that you can use to move to the other floors. You can select floors that you have previously visited via the quick travel menu. The Courageous 2. 4th floor, computers. 3rd floor, training room. 2nd floor, stores. 2nd floor, cafeteria. 2nd floor, medical office. 1st floor, oil factories. And 1st floor, hangar. Yes, we explore it all. It'll take some time, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, and I'm guessing there's gonna be scenes all over the ship. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, Instructor Rean, I hardly noticed you there. Ah, the ship is kind of, okay, really? You're that brilliant, don't you think? Don't think I felt this exhilarated since the first time I rode the Derflinger. You know my heart belongs to the railway, but faced with a mechanical machinery this beautiful, even I tempted to stray. Well, I know what you mean, Pablo. I'm still having trouble taking it all in myself. I take it you three are running the bridge? We're at least trying to fill in where we can. We're sort of learning on the fly. Louise, Tatiana and I will be heading up comms and observation. Yeah, on the engineering side, we've got me and Tita and Maya and Sydney manning the guns, with other combat tactic folks chipping in to help. Me though, I'll be holed up in the workshop most of the time. As for me, I'll be helping Miss Mint out with anything she needs. Sounds like you're putting what you learned in your field exercise to practical use. I'm really proud of all of you. Of course she is. Ah, by the way, seems like Leonora's gonna be the co-pilot. Flying an airship sounds great, but you cannot give the helm to someone with no pencil solid experience. Anyhow, this ship is just way too cool. It definitely is. Well, I have to say though, I didn't think we'd be able to use the knowledge we gained from our field exercise in a real life situation this soon. Pretty amazing, isn't it? I joined the academy on a bit of a whim, but I've been blessed with fantastic friends and an incredible place to be. In any case, I'm glad I took things seriously at the academy. We feel the exact same way. I can't believe Miss Mint and the others were working on a grand plan elect, without anyone else catching wind of it. It makes me prouder than ever to be a student of Thor's. can definitely see what you mean. So, Angelica, what do you think? In a word, incredible. This is top of the line, next generation stuff. I've never piloted anything this responsive. And equipped with stealth capabilities on top of that, it's perfect. I don't know if we can ever thank Prince Olivert enough. Well, we can always repay his kindness by making full use of the ship. And stocking it full of cuties like Toa and Tita is a great start. And once we get him into the boss, things are going to be even better. It's like a dream come true. So you want us to thank Prince Olivert by enabling you? Yes, definitely. Anyway, you go ahead and leave the helm of the Courageous 2 to me. I'll treat it right. I'll take us anywhere the Prince commands. Or me. I will have some say in that too, right? There's a new model oral computer. It doesn't seem to be displaying anything of note at the moment. This might prove useful later. For now though, we can leave it be. Yeah, probably for extra quests and stuff. Oh, Olivert and Scheherazade, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm so glad you're both okay. Both of you here, together, nothing makes me happier right now. Thanks, Alvin. I know I put you through hell. Well, I'm sorry that I haven't been in touch. Honestly, Your Highness, I should have informed you before anyone. That was my failing. Forgive me. Oh no, don't be so silly. With that wound, my brother wasn't going anywhere for a while, right? Thank you so much for helping with this recovery. Oh, Your Highness, you honor me with your magnanimity, truly. I have to say though, getting Shira to feed me is definitely a memory I'll treasure forever. Although she did give me one legendary purple nurple when I suggested to ditch the spoon and use her mouth instead. Oh goodness. So help me ideals, Olivier. You're about 3 seconds away from finding out what life is with 0 eyes. I wouldn't have guessed that, but those two are much more intimate than I expected. Most definitely. Well, well, look who it is. Why, hello there, Rean. Looks like you're already finding your way around the place. Yeah, it really is an incredible ship. This isn't the first time we've met, but I'd like to reintroduce myself nonetheless. I'm Rean Schwarzer. Good to meet you, Scheherazade. Well, the pleasure's all mine. I've been hearing a lot about you. It sounds like you've been to Gehenna and back more times than one, and you're not done yet, it would seem. Adversity seems to be the order of the day for those who call Erebonia home, but at the very least, it made us a tough people. But no matter where we're from, I'm glad to be allies just the same. With Estelle, Agit, and now you. Oh, you bet. I've got your back. We've been preparing for the worst for a long time now. And just between you and me, as the Silver Streak, I really don't want to be outdone by the Purple Lightning. Come to think of it, you've been pretty focused on that for a while now, haven't you? Well, yeah. Despite us being the same age, she was the youngest bracer ever to reach A rank when she did. She always had a reputation as a force to be reckoned with. Even Cassius relied on her. It did make me feel a bit jealous, I have to say. No, you're both so fantastic though. I'll really admire you, Shira. You know, even though Sarah's my former instructor, we have a close relationship as friends now. Oh, I can believe it. Once I came to Erebonia and the two of us actually met, we immediately hit it off. We both like drinking and our overall situations are fairly similar too in some ways. Your interest in those of the masculine persuasion couldn't be any more different though. That's right. She's got a thing for silver foxes, huh? Though I hear the winds of change are starting to blow across a particular plane. Wait, I don't recall telling you about any of this. Scheherazade is so gorgeous, but she's a really cute side too. Don't worry you two, I'll sort this out like a proper sister should. Oh, or maybe it's best to just leave them. They're adults after all. Maybe a little bit. At any rate, it seems like Cedric is drifting further and further astray. I'm starting to fear that maybe we really can't go back to how things were. Your Highness. Come on, that can't be true.
I'm just as glad as you to see him alive again. But feelings such as that are only for the weak. We're ending this world and creating a new order in its place. And an undertaking this great leaves me no room for weakness.
Those words were proof that he's pushing himself too far. His infatuation with Chancellor Osborne is pretty clear. But I honestly doubt his resolve as one of the Ironbloods is really so firm. Or Divine Knight Awakener for that matter. I'm inclined to agree. Oh, Olivert, you silly fool. All we can ever do as people is work with the opportunities in front of us and never give up hope. Besides, I still need to meet him properly just as I did the princess. He is royalty after all. If it is a family meet and greet you're after, Shara, you need only ask. Oh yes, there's Mother Father too, if he's recovered. Let's take it down now, shall we? Beautiful. Oh, my brother and Sherazade are both so strong. I feel so relieved, like I'm floating on air. What's that? Oh, I see that curious glint in your eye. This here is our true trump card. It's what makes ultra-long distance communications with the Arcus 2 possible. It's an artifact known as the Sonorous Seashell. Mr. Debaucherous Prince snuck it in. Wow, incredible. It's a delightful little device I discovered in some ruins on a visit with the Bracer Guild. That was about 10 years ago now? It facilitates ultra-long distance communications in a snap, and it's even able to bypass orbital comm restrictions of all shapes and sizes. It's currently in use as our repeater router, per Toval's suggestion. It's also linked to our Arcuses via the Round of 7 app the Foundation made for me. Its capabilities are almost mind-boggling. And if the ship controls tower is set up with this, then we have flawless connection with everyone involved with the Radiant Wings. As someone who will be helping with operations, I have to say, I find it hard to believe its capabilities are even possible. I'm with you there. I guess artifacts don't need to be deadly to be powerful. Speaking of that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the Septian Church collected all artifacts that are still functional. About that, after a bit of discussion with the Grossritter, we managed to come to an agreement of sort. Our possession and usage has received tactic approval, on the condition that we abide by the number of itty-bitty rules. Oh, Olivert? So fortunate are we that a man of his eloquence and skill walks upon this earth. I wonder what the deal precisely is. Anyway, I also intend on going down to Lake Gala. I'll be meeting up with Estelle and the others, so let's link up again in the future. You're taking up the Witch's Elder's trial, right? Best of luck, Rean. Thanks, Sherazade. If I find out anything of note, I'll be in contact. Come on. I am eager to visit my father as well, but I know I must proceed carefully. I'm sure a chance will present itself soon. I'm sure it will. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave the episode here. Considering that from here on out we're gonna go over the entire ship. I want to do the bridge because this is like a corner of a piece of it. This is where we start and well we'll end this all. But I'm pretty sure once we're done with talking to everyone in the ship, we need to be back here in order to forward the main story, I'm sure.
Okay.
Like going to our destination at Lake Gala. So for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we do around, of course, the entire Courageous 2 and see what we can find. And who knows, maybe the ship is even bigger than I thought.
Okay.
But we'll find that out on the next one. So until then, bye bye.